The head of the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, is a priori not ready for peace talks with Ukraine as he wants to continue the war. His main goal was and remains unchanged: complete political control over our state and better, overall, of Eastern Europe. However, the operation of the armed forces of Ukraine in Kursk in Russia showed that the regime of the Kremlin dictator is fragile and any black swan can lead to its end. His first presidential term began with the Kursk submarine disaster, and it would be wonderful if the events in Kursk had buried this regime. After all, for the first time since World War II, war had come to Russia, and Putin himself had brought it. This opinion was expressed by Russian oppositionist Olga Kurnosova in an exclusive interview with Obozrevatel media outlet. Retired British Army Colonel Hamish de Bretton-Gordon said that Putin's failure to push the Ukrainian Armed Forces out of the Kursk region by the deadline looks like a blow to Putin's dictatorship. In his opinion, Kursk could be the beginning of the end for Putin in 2025, as it was for Hitler in 1943. Olga Kurnosova says that this is already a problem for Putin personally and for his regime as a whole, but we must understand that Putin's fall, unfortunately, is not as close as we would like. Although in principle the regime is quite fragile and any black swan event could lead to its quick end. She says that Putin doesn't give a damn about anyone except himself, his close friends and maybe his relatives, that's all. We remember how his presidency began with the death of submarines on the Kursk submarine, also Kursk. So I would like this Kursk to finally bury him, she added. If we take the formal side of the issue, the inviolability of Russia's borders was closely related to the inviolability of Ukraine's borders because all these borders were formed at the time of signing the Belaveza Accords. And in a legal sense, they have the same weight with the borders of Russia and the borders of Ukraine. Therefore, Putin violated his own borders, the borders of Russia, exactly at the moment when he crossed the border of Ukraine with regular troops on February the 24th, 2022. But Putin is a kind of reader, someone who treats legal issues formally. Despite the fact that he graduated from law school, he does not distinguish between natural law and law. He tries to deceive and treat everyone with formal tricks. This is where all his wild, from the point of view of a normal person, things come from. So there's nothing to be surprised about here. The way he behaves, unfortunately, is not surprising, she added.
Firefighters are battling to control a series of major fires in the Los Angeles area that have killed 5 people, ravaged communities from the Pacific coast to Pasadena and sent thousands of people frantically fleeing their homes. Dozens of blocks were flattened to smoldering rubble in scenic Pacific Palisades. Only the outlines of homes and their chimneys remained. In Malibu, blackened palm strands were all that was left above debris where oceanfront homes once stood. At least 5 churches, a synagogue, 7 schools, 2 libraries, boutiques, bars, restaurants, banks and groceries were lost. So too were the Will Rogers Western Ranch House and Topanga Ranch Motel, local landmarks dating to the 1920s. The government has not yet released figures on the cost of the damage or specifics about how many structures burned. AccuWeather, a private company that provides data on weather and its impact, estimated the overall damage could reach $57 billion. Los Angeles County officials announced the Eaton fire near Pasadena that started Tuesday night burned more than 4,000 to 5,000 structures including vehicles.